Happy New Year. It is Pastor Paul Anderson from the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship, where we believe God's blessings never stop flowing. What an awesome New Year's Eve service we had on last night. Thank you all who joined us. First of all, I want to say thank you to Reverend Cy Young. I want to say thank you to my wife, Reverend Tina Morris Anderson, and to our son, Paul Anderson II. Thank you all for those awesome messages, and thank you all for being here and being a part of us. I thank you for the words of affirmation and encouragement that we will give each other as we go into this new year. And I also want to say thank you to Sisters Priscilla and Gwen, who decorated this lovely tree that you have seen during the season. On January 1 afternoon, the tree comes down. So this is your last time seeing this beautiful tree until about this time next year, Christmas time next year. So thank you to everyone for all the wonderful things you've done. I want to give a shout out. I have never done this before, but to our producer, I want to say thank you for this whole year in review, Brother Gary Leach, for the awesome job you've done. We've been doing this ever since March. Man, you are one of a kind. I love you and I appreciate you. And we thank God for the wonderful ways in which you've allowed us to extend this ministry here at the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship all over the world. And thank you all for being participants in that. And we really do appreciate and love what you've been doing by sharing our messages and liking it and making sure that we make contact with each other. Well, we're still in the midst of this pandemic, but we started a whole new year. Happy New Year. So in starting off this year, I thought the message that would be most appropriate for this devotional comes to us out of Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, verses 1 through 13. This is that book of Ecclesiastes, part of that wisdom literature, part of the words that we hear from Solomon, who reminds us that he knows exactly what God would have us to understand, that there's a time and there's a purpose for everything under the heavens. In this book of Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, he begins to remind us there comes a time in our lives for everything. There's a time to be born. There's a time to die. There's a time to embrace. There's a time to refrain from embracing. COVID-19 has been this time that we've refrained from embracing, but we thank God with the vaccine and with all of us doing our due diligence and the words that we've heard from Dr. Fauci, we're going to get to the other side of this. I'm looking forward to the new administration that will take place, that will be inaugurated in this powerful month of January, both on the national, the state level, and the local level. So all of us will realize that it's a new work that God is going to be doing. There'll be new faces. There'll be new places that we will see things happening. And this text begins to remind us that God is always doing something new in a new year. And so let's be reminded that there's a time and a purpose for everything under the heavens. And for that reason, we have to ask ourselves, where do we fit in this time slot? You know, it's always amazing that there are time slots for everything. There's a time slot for all of us to understand that God is doing something powerful and he's working in all of us to will and to do his good pleasure, to make sure that we turn out to be what God has asked us to be, and that is his children chosen to do a work for him. Today, I hope you will say, this is the time that I'm going to reprioritize my life. I'm going to put things in order. I'm going to make sure I have dotted all my I's. I'm going to make sure I have crossed all my T's. I'm going to be organized as I go into this new year because I want to be prepared. If ever there's another pandemic, I want to be prepared. If ever there's another financial downswing like we've seen before, that I can be mentally prepared. I can be spiritually prepared to know that God is going to protect me and God is going to guide me because God will give us each other. I want you to know that God looks at all that we're doing and God has compassion and God is willing to help us to realize the times that we're in because he's a God who is on time. My brothers and sisters, happy New Year to you. Make this the best year that you've ever had in your life, and happy 2021. God bless you, and I'll see you tomorrow.
To sow a seed to the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship, visit our newly redesigned website, thefountainofraleigh.org, and select Sow a Seed from the homepage. Also, giving has been made easier with the new Fountain of Raleigh app, available now in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. Download today, select Giving from the main menu, and then follow the directions to complete your giving through Subsplash.
Thank you so very much for all of your gifts and donations that you've given to the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship. We thank you for what you've done in the past, what you're currently doing, and what you will do in the future. Your gifts and donations helps us to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ, not only locally, but throughout the world. Thank you again for your gifts, and may God continue to richly bless you. It is here at the Fountain that we believe that we are exceedingly and abundantly blessed, and may you receive those blessings that God has in store for you.